Hi, here's your disclaimer. This podcast is full of opinionated individuals, and we may have some takes you may not agree with regarding the media we are talking about. We talk about some topics that may bring discomfort for certain individuals. If you are easily upset or triggered, it is best that you move on. We also do not condone the harassment of individuals possibly referred to, or the harassment of the creators and consumers of the media that we talk about.
This episode will contain spoilers for Lights Out by Nevessa Allen, Haunting and Hunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton, and the Duskwalker Bride series by Opal Rain.
Content warnings for Episode 3. Mentions of sexual themes and kinks, sexual assault, dark sexual themes, including weapon-related kinks and actions, stalking, cannibalism, violence, murder and death, mutilation, manipulation, and abuse.
Hey, welcome to episode 3 of Tea with the Chaotic 3. If it's your first time here, then you should know we like to get into it on all sorts of topics and types of media like books, anime, video games. You get it. An assortment of things we are sometimes a little too obsessed with. Expect passionate ranting, frequently falling off the tracks, and strong opinions. With that said, I'm Air. Sometimes these guys will call me the Crime Lord, and I don't know why. I'm the ever innocent, never once convicted of a crime, lover of morally gray, white-haired boys who bite.
Oh my god.
No way this bitch just lied through her teeth.
And then there's Zinda, mother of chaos, lover of druids and monster romances, especially when they have tentacles in their, and who I consider my online wife, who is perpetually divorcing me for earlier mentioned unproven crimes.
You divorce me all the time. What do you mean?
Debatable. There's
They are well
also
documented.
Zeph, our lover of good boys, such as Ravengard, Baldur's Gate 3, Haurchefant of Final Fantasy XIV, Xavier of Love and Deep Space, also a lover of any media portraying a doomed gay romance, and why Zeph doesn't want to be happy in the end, I don't know.
It rubs hands evilly like fly.
Oh my god.
And then finally we have Corrosis, our manager, our saving grace, who's constantly fighting for their life to keep us on the tracks.
Sure am.
So, with the intro said and done, let's get into today's topic of conversation, dark romance.
Oh boy!
All right, what is it? What do you guys think about when you're thinking dark romance?
Well, definitely darker themes, obviously. Stalking, obsession, of course. Morally gray and black characters.
Isn't dark romance just romance that happens at night? Obviously.
Oh my lordy lord.
Could you imagine?
Oh my god.
It's in the name. Come on.
It happens after romance after dark. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, romance after dark. You got it.
But mostly bad boys, I guess.
We like a good
Yeah.
bad boy.
And obsessive. Morally gray
Obsessive.
and
Zinda
black.
really likes mafia men.
Yes, I do. And if they're monster mafia, that's like fucking bonus.
With tentacles?
All together. I mean, those are bonuses too. Sure. They work.
Are you just trying to add up all the like bonus combo points here? Like what's the
Yeah.
goal here?
Yes, basically.
Yeah, just get it all in one go.
It's too much for me.
Too much. Gracious. Weak sauce.
Sometimes.
Weak.
Listen. Zinda likes the tentacles. I like the fangs.
I didn't say I don't like the fangs, though. I like the teeth. This is gonna be used properly, okay?
The teeth.
See, Air
like the
only
teethies.
likes the fangs.
That's not true.
She likes the bat wings too when they have them.
Well, anyway, dark romance.
Yeah, dark romance.
Bro, I don't know. Zinda named all the shit that I would say.
Well, so reading from this very lovely description that y'all provided to me in advance, uh, dark romance is a subgenre of romance novels and media. It applies to all romance stories, with darker themes such as trauma, obsession, power dynamics, and darker sexual themes, usually focused on the romantic aspects of the main characters and what they do for their partners, such as a male MC who does horrible shit for the female MC, but not to the FMC.
Mm-hmm.
Yerp.
That is pretty much it.
Now, in contrast, there's this other topic that I guess often gets confused called dark erotica.
Ah, yes. Dark
I know
media
nothing about that.
with a big focus on like sexual aspects. Of course, dark erotica, being darker than your, I guess, what would the word be? More vanilla? I wouldn't even say more vanilla. It's
No,
just,
no.
I would not say more vanilla.
I guess. Sorry, go ahead.
I would say you see in dark erotica more often where they're seeking out to harm their female lead
Mm-hmm.
and that getting tied in with sexual themes, but not in a healthy or positive way in a lot of media.
So the complete
Erotica-
opposite of dark romance.
So rather than it being focused on the terrible shit people will do for their partners, it's about the shit that they'll do to their partners
More or less, I'd say. I mean, they'd
in
still
sexual settings and things. of course.
in sexual settings, definitely, but like also that same character will probably turn around and do horrible shit to other characters in the story. But like, erotica, it's kind of in the name, erotica, so it has this focus on sexual themes, and typically it's like got extreme power dynamics, and like taboos and stuff like that, that you wouldn't see in like dark romance, where that character is much less volatile towards their partner.
The ones we prefer, definitely.
I personally prefer,
I mean, it just sounds like a fairly common theme would be something like touch her and die.
Yes.
we love that. We
Yeah,
love that.
And
yes, yes.
they
we
usually
do.
commit on the die part.
Mhm.
Follow through.
Yes. Most times.
Where's the killing for her? Where's the declarations of love? Where is it?
It's a pair of hands in a box.
Not the box.
The
Not the
box.
hands in the box.
So
But no.
I guess,
Sorry, go ahead.
so I guess my question, right? You guys mentioned, right? I brought up the fact that there's this difference between dark erotica and dark romance, and we talked a little bit about what that is. But why is that even relevant? Is there what? I guess there's some situations where this is confusing.
Well, me personally, I'm big on tagging stuff correctly, and I feel like a lot of authors use dark romance when in reality their stuff is dark erotica, because it just doesn't fit under that dark romance like umbrella. And there seems to be more of a focus on like the sexual themes or even just straight sexual abuse from the main characters. And like nothing's wrong with writing dark erotica. Might I clarify? You can write that all you want. But it's a little concerning when people don't know the difference between the two and then market their very clearly dark erotica as dark romance.
Probably to sell more, honestly.
It is. It's to because most of the time romances, and I think this is also a debatable point too, is that most romances, whether they are dark, not, whatever the fuck, have a happier tone at the
Mhm.
end, at least, right? That's the goal of romance, is to have the HEA, and
More or less. I
more or less. I'm
mean.
not saying all the time. You can have a tragic story and it still be a romance, right? But that's a tragic romance. But romances in general are looked for the happily ever after, right? And sometimes these books get super confusing in that little tidbit, because to get to that happily ever after, there's a lot of, like in Dark Erotica, there's a lot of more severe interactions a uh between the partners, right? Like more abusive, more controlling, more gaslighting, or
Not romantic.
not really romantic
The
but
roman-
romanticized.
Mhm. The
And I
romantic
think
aspect
that's
has to really be there for it to be a romance is the thing. And if there's
Mhm.
no romantic, I'm not taking it as romantic. That's like the key fucking thing. Do the characters have chemistry together? Do they feel romantic? Do they feel like they're meant to be together? If not, and they're just having sex all over the fucking place, or just fucking, that's erotica. There's no romance. If there's no romantic tension between them, it's not truly a romance. And if they're just fucking, it's an erotica.
You know, that's probably a better differentiation
Mhm.
than what was explained earlier, I think.
Words hard.
I mean, it's words are hard.
Words hard. I
Um,
had to let it sit in my brain.
but yeah, that makes sense. Dark romance focuses on romantic relationship with dark themes surrounding it, and usually morally gray or morally black characters involved. Whereas dark erotica, it can be the same or even more severe themes as dark romance, but the key difference is that it explicitly does not include romantic themes.
Yes.
Which makes sense because it's the name. You have dark romance, which romance, and dark erotica, which romance isn't in the name.
The
It makes
name,
sense.
the genre name really sells what it actually is.
I have experienced more than once a dark romance ends up being more dark erotica, and I really need the romance aspect for it to work out. I cannot stand it when it's just not there.
It's like, oh, dark romance. Flipping through the fucking pages, where's the romance?
Ooh.
Why is he being so mean to her?
There's no chemistry. Why is he doing this? What the fuck? He's a basic fucking man. I'm fucking. Why is the FMC like this? Bitch, hit him with your car. What are you doing?
Such a mood.
He's just a guy. Hit him with your car. I hate it when the FMCs take it too. It's like, bitch, if you don't turn around and
They're
beat his
doormats.
ass with a fucking wire, the authors always write them as fucking doormats so that the MMC can get away with it.
Okay, well, before we get lost in tangent about the complaints about dark erotica, why don't we? What do all of you consider to be good dark romance? What do you like about it?
The morally gray men.
Morally gray anyone. Look, I need morally gray or morally black sapphics one day. I can't stand seeing these fucking men like do all this shit, and I'm sitting here, where are the women? Where can I find the women? I can't do it. Morally gray or black, but specifically There's that one person they cannot harm because of their
Yes.
subconscious.
The
And they do
exception to the
anything.
rule.
Yes, the exception to the rule, and they would do anything for that person.
Yep.
That's delicious food right there.
Mm-hmm. I agree with both. Burn the world.
I mean,
Oh yes. Burn the whole world down for them.
mhm.
That's like one of my favorites. Yum, 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 yum.
Oh my god, no vocal stimming.
Um,
We cannot get distracted.
so from my understanding, y'all prepared a specific novel series to talk about in regard to good dark romance from your perspective.
Oh
Yes.
yes.
We have one in particular that all of us unanimously agree on.
I sped ran this fucking book. Give it up for Lights Out. Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
I sped ran this book in like a week, I think.
I'm pretty sure it was less than a week
Delicious
'cause
motherfucker. This stuff
It
was
was
You're
like
good.
done
2.5
with it.
days.
Yeah, it was much less than a week.
This stuff
You
was
you
good.
definitely read that pretty fucking fast, but yeah, Lights Out is definitely something I all three of us agree on. That is like what a dark romance for us is a really good example of. You have like the the MMC who is really morally gray. And then you have the very strong independent FMC and her cat.
The cat is
We
important.
will not forget that. The cat is very important.
So important.
And the way the author wrote them was honestly just bottom line fantastic.
This
Because
is a-
he.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say this is a good baseline for like what dark romance, like, in my opinion,
be.
should be. Like, this is good. It's not the darkest of dark romances, and I can acknowledge that it's not the darkest because take into account that the MMC actively doesn't want to be a horrible person, but he winds up doing a horrible thing. He winds up doing a couple of horrible things, let's be fucking honest. I mean, breaking into the FMC's house is bad enough, but she liked it. She liked it. Stalking
Fucking-
her ever since he met her because he was like,
Mhm.
damn, she a fucking baddie. I'm sorry. It's also important to note that, like, he does this for every bitch that he likes. He does it for his best friend. He's basically stalked him ever since he's been able to because they're like childhood friend, and his best friend is like the only person who's like been his ride or die since they were kids.
Oh, and he also background checks anybody his
Mhm.
friend goes out with or
It's
bangs.
funny. It's funny because he background checks his friends, hookups, and then his friend makes sure he doesn't bring home people who are into true crime because we didn't even say the characters' fucking names. Hold on. Because
We kind of flew
Josh,
past summarizing anything.
because Josh is the son of like a really infamous serial killer, and he's like spitting image of his papa. So Josh like sits inside all the time. His best friend Tyler literally makes sure he does not bring girls home who are into true crime to prevent the risk of having a girl recognize that Josh is this dude's son. It's great. and then Tyler brings Allie home one day and like as a hookup, and Josh is like, damn, and he immediately goes to stalking her ass. And then Allie is wonderful too. Allie is fucking great. She's strong. She's got a great fucking personality. She's not like, super naive, super oh, a noise? Let's go fucking investigate with no weapons.
She's a smart woman.
She's a smart woman, and I fucking love her. Mind you, they're both my fucking type. They're both my fucking type. Allie is a physically tall and strong woman. I mean, come the fuck on. And Josh
Seth
is
would
like
both.
I would like both. I would like to be sandwiched between both, okay? And Josh, of course, is a good boy with a few screws loose. He came out of the factory a little fucked up, but I love him anyway. And then our beloved
Oh.
Fred. He's just a
Our
cat.
beloved Fred.
He's just a boy.
He's the baby boy.
It's fucking...
Could do no wrong.
Could do no wrong. Absolutely no wrong. But he keeps getting shoved in that goddamn bathroom. Every time.
Well, they have to protect his eyes,
And
okay?
They have to protect his eyes, yep.
His innocence.
What I'm about to do to his mother, no child should witness. That is a line in the book that Josh says. It's fucking great because Josh comes in the first time around and he's like, he's very wary around like smaller animals because he's very familiar with the whole like 3 signs of a serial killer, yada yada yada. Even though that's a, you know, currently like pretty dated way to like spot serial killers and stuff. And one of those are harming small animals, and you know, he breaks in the first time, he sees Fred, he's like, he goes down to pet Fred. By the way, Fred fucking hates men, which honestly, fucking real as fuck. Me too, Fred. But Fred hates men, but he comes right up to Josh. He's like, oh, person. And Josh pets him, and he's like, I don't have serial killer tendencies towards this animal. And then he adopts Fred on the spot. Literally just adopts him. We love a man who loves cats. We love a man who loves animals. We love a man. No, we love the people that the animals like.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean,
Sign of approval.
animals have a good sense for that kind of thing.
Yep. Like, oh, you vibe with my cat? Okay, you can come hang.
There's also a part like when they're in her kitchen, I think it was,
Mhm.
and she's like, "What did you do to my cat? Do you have like catnip all over you?" Allie asks him, and he's like, "No, I don't have anything on me." And it's like he hates men, and he's like, the cat Fred is literally in his lap making biscuits or something.
Mhm. What did
So,
you
yeah.
do to my cat? He hates men. Did you roll around in catnip?
Well, so to summarize, because we didn't summarize it,
Oops.
Lights Out is a dark romantic comedy.
Mhm.
So as we kind of talked about, you've got Allie. She's an overworked nurse who likes to watch TikToks, specifically thirst talks of masked men. She's got her friends with benefits, Tyler. She asks him to wear a mask one day, shows him a picture of the guy on the TikTok. It ends up being his roommate Josh. And Josh is the masked man. And he, now knowing that Allie is interested, does everything he can to try to stalk her. So tries to hack into her accounts, breaks into her house, installs a security system.
He doesn't
Or
install
buys her
it.
a security
He
system.
realizes that she doesn't have one. He's like, no, this can't do. And he buys her one. And it comes literally, I think the day after she, fucking, you know, realized he broke in. It was
Something
great.
like that.
He's like, no, this won't fucking do. Here's your security system.
He even like stalks her on the security cameras at her work and shows up to her workplace in her car to pick her up, which gets him a bit of a reward and also stabbed, but it's fine. They fall in love, like they said. He adopts Fred as his own son.
Literally refers to himself as daddy.
It's mommy and daddy specifically.
Mommy and daddy have to go do something. Get in the bathroom.
Unfortunately, he's wrong in that he's not the one that adopted.
Oh,
Fred
right.
quite
Fred
literally
adopted him
him.
immediately too. But yeah, like Zeph said, Zeph Josh is constantly
Yeah.
paranoid he's gonna end up like his father. And then there's a little incident with a break-in at Allie's house, and he knocks out the guy that broke in and tapes his mouth over and throws him in the trunk, but it turns out he taped over his nose and mouth. And now
Oopsie.
Josh is officially a murderer.
Oopsie. Oops.
Whoopsie daisy. And then Allie has a family that's all in the mafia, and they
Cute
figure
Allie's
it out.
mafia family.
Yes, just out of left field.
But I'm in the mafia, and then he starts jiggling the door handle. He's like, "Let me out."
Let me out! Help!
Not even like seriously. She's like, "I have something to tell you, but you gotta promise not to leave or anything like that." He's like, "Yeah, sure. What is it?" She's like, "My family's in the mafia." He just turns to the door and starts jiggling the door handle.
He's such a goof. Like he's such a
He's great.
he's
Fantastic.
comic
He's great.
relief wrapped into a stalker dark romance character. It's so good.
It's a perfect blend.
Mhm.
And then that puts me onto one of my points I jotted down, was that it really pisses me off. I see this online a lot. People will say that this is not a dark romance because it's got comedy in it.
Oh no,
But-
comedic relief. I'm sorry, but like several times throughout the story, Allie mentions all the shit that happens during her work as a trauma nurse, and Josh also fucking, dumps what his father did. Like when he was on the loose as a fucking serial killer who targeted women and stuff like that. I like when my dark media has some comedic elements to it, because you can't just fucking doom and gloom and all this shit and fucking
Are you
like,
sure?
what do you mean am I
Doom and
sure?
gloom?
You can do your doom and gloom, but that better not be all, because that shit gets tiring. I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? You need some sort of relief. It doesn't even have to be comedic. It can be literally anything. But goddamn, if it don't piss me off sometimes.
Right. It irks me to my soul, because like we're saying it's not dark because it's comedic while he's stalking, breaking and entering. There's cannibalism mentioned. There's murder that happens.
There's accidental cannibalism that happens.
That's the cannibalism.
There's a lot of like bedroom stuff that you wouldn't see in normal romances. There's an
Right?
accidental stabbing between characters. Secretly stealing DNA to do DNA tests. Like, come on.
It's got the dark elements that make it a dark romance, and it's definitely a dark romance in my book because they have the chemistry. They definitely fucking love each other, right? But they're also doing the really risky sex stuff. Allie giving head in the fucking car, fucking with that knife, and then oops, whoopsie, he gets stabbed.
So
He didn't mind.
He didn't
he
mind.
didn't mind at the time. Well, even afterwards, I think he was fine with it. Mostly she patched him up. But it was funny because the reason why she ended up with the knife was because when he comes to the hospital, because it's really, really storming horribly, it's a snowstorm, and he knows that she hasn't eaten, she hasn't slept. She's pretty much been working for several hours at this point at the hospital. And he warms her car up, brings it to the front, picks her up, gives her the knife, and says, "Here, if you're not, if you feel like you're unsafe, this you can use."
We skipped a few steps because he pulls up, right? He pulls up, has her car warmed. He gives her a lunch baggie. A lunch
Yeah,
baggie
snacks.
of food, of snacks. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
He's like, eat. She's like, and she's like obviously thinking, I'm not risking this shit. So she has him like take bites of all her food, right? Before she
Yep.
actually goes and eats it. So he's like, all right, fine. He eats the food. She eats the food. He also, I think, gave her gun. It was full of blanks, but he still gave her gun so she would have that sense of safety. And then she picked up the knife. She didn't pick up the knife, or like he let her have the knife because she was like looking at it. And then she goes down and does the gawk to him.
She gives him head.
Yep.
She sucks his dick while he's driving her home.
Oh, yeah, I'm sitting there like, sister, you're gonna fucking crash.
Just the stabbing.
It's that whole fucking, then they're driving and she's giving mad head because she's giving mad head. And he just fucking crashes the car. That's all I could fucking think of. But also, that is the one form of head scene that I like. I don't typically like blowjob scenes or stuff like that. Like the FMC giving the MMC head, because it feels a lot of the time dehumanizing to the FMC. But this was like the one instance where I was like, damn.
Well, she literally instigates it too. She's like,
I'm like,
She was a woman in
damn.
control.
This shit is
Mhm.
hot.
Yeah, she was entirely in control. It was funny,
Well.
but yeah, no.
Besides the stabbing.
Well,
I mean,
She got too into it, lost in the sauce.
lost in
Literally.
the fucking sauce.
but no, she was enjoying herself, and that was what was important in that
Mhm.
scene. Like, if there's a power dynamic in that one, it's Allie on top for sure.
This book was so
I think-
fun.
I think that gave Josh the praise kink too.
Yeah, they both unlocked a praise kink for each other. I think it was so fucking funny.
But yeah, so Josh definitely number one.
Josh and Allie, what are we talking about? Again,
No,
I
I
would
mean,
be
like-
sandwiched between the two of them. No fucking hesitation.
So do you prefer Josh with or without the Batman voice modulator?
Without,
I don't know. Without, probably.
Because this fake Batman voice is so good.
Oh my god.
It is, but I like the actual voice.
Okay. So that's one that you guys really like. An example of a good dark romance that you'll keep talking about for a while, probably. I could probably yap for another hour on that.
Oh yeah. I
but-
mean, I could give you a rundown of the fucking story.
But I think we're good to move on. Now I know originally there was a plan to kind of talk about a middle ground between good and bad. I don't know if y'all want to talk about why we don't have that anymore today, or if we just
Oh,
want to go
boy.
ahead and move on to the bad.
Oh
Well,
boy.
There was a middle ground duet that we were going to do a talk about as like a debated middle ground dark romance. But we took that out because certain things about the author came to light, and we found out some past transgressions as well that we were not aware of until we found out about the recent ones. And the author's name is Sophie Lark. And her Sinners duet is what we were going to speak about. So we asked that because she made some not so savory racist comments and dialogue in her newest book that she's releasing. She gave the arc out to her readers and her sensitivity readers, as well as her publisher, apparently. Told her to take that stuff out, but she didn't. She kept it. So we don't tolerate racism here, and we're not going to be reading her in the future. And that's why we took that shit out.
Yippee.
Okay. I mean, makes sense to me.
Oh yeah, makes sense, but I'm saying yippee sarcastically.
Whoopee slash ass.
Yeah. So one thing we will not tolerate, no, many things we will not tolerate here. Any kind of fucking phobia towards people and that kind of shit don't fly.
Discrimination.
Discrimination of any sort.
I wasted a
Absolutely
whole week
not.
of my life. A whole week. I'm
I'm
so
so
glad
sorry, Steph.
I'm so glad I stole Zinda's copies for these, and
Mhm.
just sped read them, brother. A whole
This
fucking
is how it
week.
goes. The shit comes out after you've already, purchased books and committed to a
Mhm.
Yeah,
After
I mean,
you're
it's not
already
the-
invested.
it's not the first time that we've come to realize an author that we newly discovered. We discovered them. Obviously, they've been around or whatever the fuck. That turns out to be a fucking racist piece of shit. And we're not going to read racist piece of shit authors, whether or not they're fucking fantastic writing or juvenile writing. It doesn't fucking matter. If you're a piece of shit person, you do not deserve the money that is given to you for your media. End of story.
Wow. Since we don't have a middle ground example, let's talk a little bit about like common themes and stuff and dark romances that y'all do not like.
Raise his
boy.
hand. Raise his hand because I have so many complaints. Raise his hand. I
Let's
don't
go.
like. Ooh, I don't like abusive MMCs in any fucking situation, whether the romance is there or not. If he's toxic to her, get the fuck out of here, right? I don't like FMCs who are like, they have no growth, and their primary fucking things about them is that they're naive and they go and explore every single little like fucking what's the fucking word, suspicious piece of activity without protection. Bitch, if you're gonna go and do your little exploration gig, if you don't grab the fucking gun, I swear to God, I'm gonna jump through this
No.
fucking book and smack you.
All they fucking grab is their fucking flashlight or their phone to use as
Uh-huh.
a flashlight. I'm like, are you serious? Like, where is the survival instincts here? Like,
you're-
what
They're
is
not
going
there.
on?
If you're bringing just those, you better be prepared to throw that shit, and you better have fucking good aim.
You better
Mhm.
be ready to run and be fucking like a marathon sprinter or something. But no, I agree with that. That I do not like toxic MMCs. It's one of the reasons I don't read bully romances. To be honest,
Well,
I just
let me re-clarify, because I feel like toxic isn't the right word. So to me, there's toxic and then there's abusive. Toxic is like, okay, there's a little bit of like, there's something wrong here. There are little bits and pieces of, oh, this wouldn't slide in like IRL normal relationship, right? And things I consider toxicity are hyperpossessiveness, jealousy, stuff like that. But in my fictional media, I eat that shit
no,
up.
that's
to say,
okay.
That's
No,
Jealousy
no,
and
toxic, though.
Xavier?
Look, my boy has a little bit of toxicity, okay? No one's perfect. Leave him be. But, like, those are toxic qualities. Those would be considered toxic qualities. It's okay to understand that and still like them in your fictional media. I fucking eat that shit up, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, bitch. I don't like abuse. I don't like verbally insulting the, FMC. I don't like, striking her or just abusing her on any fucking level. It doesn't fucking matter what the abuse is, because that's just straight, okay, do you give a shit about her? Do you just like having that power over her specifically, nothing else? You don't actually love her, you just love having a bitch under your thumb. That's what I don't like. I'm okay with some variants of toxicity. Again, jealousy, possessiveness, stalking, shit like that. I'm good with that. Okay? I'm not good with straight fucking abuse.
Right. I had a thought, I lost it.
No! Quick, grab it, bitch, grab
Okay.
it.
Okay, so like I will be okay with, like you said, the little bits of toxicity, the jealousy. I'm fine with like an asshole-ish or slightly bullyish character in fiction, but like it has to grow, because if I'm at the end of this book and you're telling me this is the happily ever after and he's still being a dick to the main character, no,
I'm out of here.
absolutely not.
I don't remember, like, I don't know. For me, bullying is just, I've read few books where the bullying ends up with the FMC in the hospital. All right. And that is like where I'm like,
That's abuse.
no, I don't think so. I don't want this. Like, this isn't my cup of tea. I don't appreciate it at all. It's not something I want to read. But again, as you guys are saying, possessiveness, jealousy, I like that. Like I like that in my fiction. I don't see anything wrong with that as far as like characteristics of a character goes. And assholes are fine too, but if he's an asshole to her all the fucking time,
It gets old quick.
It gets all quick. Look, it's okay
do
if
you
he's
even love
snarky
her if
towards
you're
her.
doing that?
It's okay if he's snarky, sassy towards her, right?
That's
that
different, though.
shit's
That's like
funny.
banter.
Okay, looks at Silas, love in deep space, right? He's
Silas
funny.
is perfect.
He's fucking funny with that shit. Okay, the little light voice that he does when he's like imitating her, that shit was hilarious, right? But like, if the MMC is a little sassy, a little snarky, a little bit of a brat, I'm good with it. But if he's just straight a fucking dickhead, no.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Okay, so what about this scenario where, like, this is what's coming to my mind. You've got a scenario where he likes her, but again, dickhead, asshole, whatever words we want to use. But then, like, something happens and, like, the character gets hurt, and then all of a sudden his demeanor changes.
He better grow the fuck up quick. That's all I'm gonna say. Look, he can be an asshole, but he
live for
better grow
that.
the fuck up. That's what I'm saying. Okay, I'm okay with like asshole characters. What I'm not okay with, like I said, are abusers. And also backtracking a little, when you look at like bully tropes, bully and like the person they're bullying stuff, a bully's still an abuser. Let's be fucking honest. So that's still abuser and their victim, and I don't fucking vibe with that. I just do not vibe with that shit.
I'm like that too. I can't do it. It's just too much like it's too much abuse towards one fucking character. And then that
Yeah.
one character doesn't do anything to retaliate either. It's just they
The
take it.
doormat, yeah.
Yeah, they just take it, and that pisses me off more than the bullying does. Personally.
Well, a lot of times you need to have that doormat type
That's
to
how
work for the author.
That's how authors make it work. Is like the only way this bullying dynamic is going to continue on is if the person they're bullying is constantly fucking taking it, and they're like, for some reason, this fucking iron dome of like, yeah, I can take it, and they're just getting their ass fucking kicked mentally, verbally, whatever the fuck it is, non-fucking stop, just that shit, it gets really fucking old really fucking quick to me. That's my personal opinion, of course. Again, might I, clarify, say this, writing certain things does not make it to where the person writing that thing actually enforces it or jives with the IRL. They're just writing their fiction, which, fine by me. I
Right.
don't want anything to fucking do with it, though. Not my cup of tea. Therefore, I will not drink it.
Okay, well, y'all talked a lot about what y'all don't like. So y'all prepared an example book, Book of Vows. In contrast, right, to the one that we talked about for good stuff. In contrast to Lights Out, you prepared I think it's one we talked about before in one of the earlier episodes, Hunting Adeline.
Yes.
It makes a comeback.
Mm.
I still haven't
think
read it, by the way.
it may continue to.
I will not read it. It is not for me. I'm just gonna say that. I've seen excerpts. I've seen, all that shit. I've heard Zinda and Air talk about it. They're the experts here, I'm pretty sure. I will not fucking read it.
I wouldn't say expert. We've read it.
You've
is
read
pretty
it,
much
therefore you have more qualifications than I do. All I know is that from what I've seen, when I've read very little, I would lose my fucking patience really fucking quickly.
But yeah, we've talked about Hunting Adeline before, by H.D. Carlton, and we've talked about the main character, the MMC, who is Zaid Meadows, I believe his last name is, and the way he becomes obsessed with an individual Adeline, and for him, from his perspective, it's like, oh, love at first sight, but that love at first sight seems like an abusive one-side relationship. When we read the story, that's what we felt. We felt that it was a lot of gaslighting, a lot of manipulation on his end to make her feel a certain way, to come to the conclusion that she liked what he was doing to her, regardless of the fact of how many times throughout the book she says no.
Mhm.
So for us, that just doesn't equate to a romance.
It doesn't
Dark
feel like a
romance.
romance.
It doesn't. It feels more like assault, and we've talked about that before. To me, that felt very reading like assault. I was reading assault. That's what it felt like when I was reading it. Sorry, that was like a jumble of words. And especially, and like Eric did a really good comparison of, like, say, Lights Out's knife scene and the gun scene in Haunting Adeline, where he literally shoves a fucking gun. No confirmation whether or not this gun is loaded, by the way, or if its safety's on or off, regardless of the fact that it is or isn't, he shoves it in her fucking vagina while she is saying no. All right. She's literally telling this man to not put that fucking thing in her pussy. And he continues to do so. And people are like, oh my God, but it's not that bad. It wasn't even loaded. Blah, 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 blah. I don't care if it's not loaded. I don't care. It's not specified in the book.
When they don't know that.
Because it's not said there. It's not clear there. So in my mind, and also I think it's also pointed out in our notes that she thinks it's loaded. Adeline thinks it's loaded. So to her, it doesn't matter. Like, it literally is an assault via a fucking foreign object.
And not knowing if it's loaded or not might be the kicker for some people who are actually into gunplay, but I think the more pressing matter is the fact that she actively says, no, don't fucking do it. From what I understand,
Many times.
she says no. She says don't do it. Y'all didn't fucking clarify a safe word. It's not like you had time to anyway, considering he just broke in and fucking started doing what he wanted with her?
Yeah, pretty much. He chases her down into a room and basically he's like, well, fair is fair. And the thing is, the whole time he's doing these bets with her, quote unquote bets, he's setting the rules and there is no confirmation on her end in this one, especially in this one, because he just says, I'm just going to do this if I catch you or whatever the fuck. And then he proceeds to do without a confirmation or without anything else, right? No affirmation, no confirmation, nothing.
Right. He's taking the fact that she is running in fear for her life as his answer, as if he's not the lunatic in the hallway with a gun.
Like, what the fuck do you mean you're gonna do what you want if you catch her when she's already fucking running for her life? Get the fuck out of here. Ooh. I don't like him as a character. He is unlikable as a fucking character from everything I've fucking seen, and I don't think anything could tell me otherwise that he is a good, decent character. Nothing about him is likable.
He's not our cup of tea. That's definitely for sure. But also, let's say something real quick. We're not king shaming. I get people are into knife. I get some people are into gun, tying up, chases, fear, power dynamics of subs and doms and et cetera. But in this particular scene, for me personally, I did not see any of that. I saw assault. And when I read it, that's how my comprehension worked. And I said, this isn't for me. This is pretty tasteless. I don't like this. That's what my brain said. So no, I think
we're big on the whole this entire any episode we pop out, it's all our opinion. It's all our opinion. Take it as so. It doesn't. Yeah, it shouldn't fucking matter to other people that we don't like these things, so we're expressing our distaste for them. We also like other things, and we talk plenty about those. Did I not fucking just rant about Lights Out like hell? I ate that fucking book
clarification up. Still should be there though. So
obviously,
but yeah,
I mean, that's why so far I've always clarified, hey, writing does not equal endorsement. Creating does not equal endorsement. I, as a creator, heavily understand that, bitch. Like, big time understand.
I mean, like, you can enjoy something and still not endorse it
Mhm.
as
Right.
outside of fiction.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
fictional media, in my
I think,
opinion, you can, you know, you can enjoy that all you want.
but I think it was actually Zeph who said it, that this feels more like an erotica than anything else. Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline, especially because of the way they end up at their happily ever after at the end of book 2 is very I don't know, there was like never an addressing to the abuse that the MMC dishes out to the FMC, and instead it's wrapped around in like this uh, cute little bow of she asked for it, she gave in, and she turns around and she's like, yeah, I like this kind of vibe, you know, I like the fear, I like the pain, I like this
After
that he's
being
doing to
beaten
me,
down into believing
after
that.
basically after basically being gaslit to that point. And this is also after she's been sex trafficked, raped multiple times by multiple people, cut up by multiple other guys, and you know, at the end of it, at the end of Hunting, it's like they wrap it up in this way where there's no actual therapeutic finish. I don't know how to word that. Like that's what it felt like to me.
It was just bad without, like, a nice, palate cleanse ending.
It's
Basically.
No
not
palate
something,
cleanse.
it's not something you want to read and then like try to sit on, I think is like
Mhm.
the best way to put it. Like, this is something you can definitely read to like pique your interest or see, oh, what's this about, but I wouldn't consider, like, me personally as someone who hasn't read it, I wouldn't consider sitting on it and like expecting anything good to come out of it, because there's nothing good that does come out of it. It's an abuser getting his way with a woman he claims to love.
Mm.
Because yeah, that's fun, I guess. Not my cup of tea, not drinking it. But yes, I did say that this, with the way it was described to me and from what I've seen, it's very much more a dark erotica and not a dark romance, because it doesn't feel like the MMC genuinely loves, quote unquote, loves the FMC, and it feels a lot more like he's using her for sexual desire. That's
Oh,
like the big thing.
that's something else that I just remembered. Sorry. In comparison to Lights Out and Hunting, no aftercare. In Hunting
The
and Hunting,
fucking aftercare.
there's no aftercare at all. He fucks around with her, does all that shit, and then fucks off. He gets up and fucks off. He literally leaves her on the floor after the gun scene. Does not do anything to like repair the possible damage that he possibly did with her saying no, 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 no. And then there's also the I think the scene in the parking lot or something, on the driveway or whatever the fuck, and she's giving him head, and no care after that either. So yeah, to me personally, Zayd is a piece of shit.
Not
Zayd
likable as a
Meadows can kick
character.
rocks somewhere. I don't give a fuck.
I know
He's
Air
dead
was
last.
really, Air was
Dead last of my list.
Dead last.
Air was
He's
really
not even on the
heated
list.
last time about the fact that he just constantly disrespects her.
The disrespect. Drinking her alcohol, littering in her fucking yard after she asks him not to, especially. No.
She got
Like
heated
all
right
her
there.
boundaries. All her fucking boundaries are like literally crossed. And again, I feel like the author wrote Adeline as a very meek character, and just because she has like this fear kink, and just like tied it in like she's the bunny, you know, like the little bunny being chased by a wolf or
Well, she's
something.
the
And
mouse.
Mouse, yeah, that's right. Cat and mouse, fucking.
That's quite
know,
literally
but,
the
like-
name of the duet, isn't it? Cat and Mouse.
Yes.
It is, but I don't fucking remember. But no, I don't like it when the characters don't have growth either. Like the female characters in particular, like stand up for yourself. This is not the way.
Her growth was
Makes me
just to
mad.
continue to allow him to
Her
hurt
growth. Her growth was okay. You can do what you want.
rolling
Okay,
over.
Yeah, basically. I'm not a fan.
I haven't read it. but
Okay, so
not a fan either.
that's super valid. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of this person. I don't even know anything about them other than what you've said. So, as we're drawing near to the end here, how would y'all? Let's draw our conclusions here. So, I'm looking at both the good and the bad. How do we want to summarize that?
Give me more MMCs that are like Josh, please,
Real. It doesn't even have
and
to
less
be.
like Zayn.
Doesn't even have to be comedy. He just has to give a shit about the FMC. Honestly, like bare minimum, he's just gotta be a dude who likes his woman, but
Well-
like will fuck up everyone else in the fucking radius.
The golden retriever personality type tied to
Yummy.
the darkness really is
Yummy.
a great mix.
That shit is good. Like a really dark character, but golden retriever side, and it's like delicious.
And honestly, like it's a personality. It's any personality. Like Zayn doesn't really have a personality outside of abuse, so
Yikes. Nothing? No
No.
sauce, no
Not
cheese on the
really.
pizza, no topping.
Mm-mm.
That's it.
yeah.
That makes it
I
even
think
more
we
depressing.
talked about it before too. He also, for reference, is a serial killer essentially of pedos.
Yeah, because that makes him so much more fucking better.
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing outside of his personality when interacting with the FMC. So me,
It just feels like something crammed in there to
Mhm.
give people a reason to
Give
argue him not
Mhm.
being awful.
Give him the slightest bit of like, oh, but look, he does this. This is good, right?
he has a moral compass. I swear. Where?
That goes hand in hand with making the FMC's doormats to allow the abuse. Like it's just excuses.
Mm-hmm.
So my final question, I think, in closing is, what do y'all want to see more of? Something that's, I mean, if you could have your ideal dark romance, what would it be?
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm raising my hand again, jumping up and down. I want a dark FMC. I want the FMC to be the one who's stalking the MMC, who's super jealous, who's, possessive. I want that. But I also want to see more sapphic dark romances. More of those. I don't care what else you throw in there. Monsters. I just want to see the gays. I want to see the sapphics. I'm tired of these straight men who, are doing all this. Oh, the very, very bad boy. Blad?
Glad.
Bad boy. My thing is the bad boy trope is sickening sometimes. It's sickening. Look, it
It's
can be
so
good.
overdone.
It can be good, okay? I like some bad boys. I think in some cases bad boy is great, bad boy is good, but like it's not my holy grail. I'm not Air. I'm not easy to
Wow.
please with your basic fucking men. Okay,
now.
he's a bad boy. I'm sorry, Air, but I'm also not, because all I fucking see is bad boy, bad boy, bad boy. Come the fuck on. There has to be more. Like, Because my thing is, this bad boy trope is constantly like hyper masculine men and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be toxic masculine men. It's just masculine men who are doing what men typically are raised to kind of do, and then they have like this turnaround or something, and they're like, maybe I don't have to act all assholey. Maybe there's this one woman that I can be nice to, and it's like, okay, cool, that's great, but I'm tired. I want
Clutching my morally gray pearls.
you can clutch your morally gray pearls all you fucking want. I want bad FMCs who, are similar, but, female. I guess my main griping point is the fact that they're always male, and it's like, oh, a man doing man things. What the fuck am I supposed to take from it? What am I supposed to take?
We should find a sapphic one and throw it on the TBR.
Please.
I actually found a sapphic monster mermaid Selkie romance for you.
Oh.
I sent it to Air. We'll be watching that when we do our TikTok page again.
Oh my god.
But
Yeah, I'm big on the whole. Please stop putting these men in these books. I'm
be
tired
more
of men.
inclusive with the others. Like, give us FMCs and they, thems, like non-binary.
Give me the
binaries,
queers.
I
want to see gays.
Give us-
I want to see trans
and
people. I want to see people
honestly-
of color. I want to see people of color. I want to see minority groups, I guess is the best way to fucking put it, in these dark romances, because it's always white on white people. And it's like, oh my god. I need to find books that are, I know they're out there. I know they're out there, and I know there are ones written by POCs, right? I know damn well they're somewhere there, but they're always hidden by the other shit is the problem. Like,
It just means, unfortunately, that you have to go fishing. That's what
I
that
mean,
is.
and I'm so bad at that.
there is one other option.
Hmm?
Write them yourself.
That's what I'm
Your
doing,
own.
bitch! Looks at my draft of my morally black POC fucking sapphics.
With lots of doom.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll slide y'all the draft at some point. The drafts. So much. But yeah, that ooh, I'm sweating. I'm gonna go through a heat stroke, bitch.
We got Zeph heated.
I'm so heated. It's always the men. And
Oh
it's never gay men. It would be significantly better if it were like gay men, trans men. You know what I'm saying.
Diverse. There needs to be more diversity.
Diversity. I'm okay.
I feel like there's a lot of manga that fits that.
Yes. It's more in manga than it is in novels and stuff like that. But that
That's
doesn't mean that
wild.
it's not there. Again, it's just you have to go look for it.
It's
You
that
have
I
to
gotta go look for
them.
it. But I need to find the time to look for it. And I need to actively look for it. And it's hidden all under all this other shit, like the super popular shit that I wouldn't fucking touch with a stick. And the popular shit that I would touch, but like it still fits under that whole, okay, there's like not a lot of diversity. And I'm not saying Lights Out didn't have, characters that were diverse, because Lights Out actually was really good with the whole side characters felt very much like actual characters. And there were there was a black woman who was like one of my favorite side characters, but like she's not a main character, and that's where I'm sitting like, I want more diversity in the main cast, brother. That's what I
Mhm.
want. It's so
Mhm.
tiring. Why are the main cast always white people? It's because it's usually white authors. That's the problem.
Well,
I gotta go
Well,
digging.
I mean, also, also, if they're going to be minorities, not stereotyping
Uh-huh.
or
Mm.
typecasting.
Yeah,
that's
that's-
the other big thing. Because
That's why I said it's
Yes,
because they're
racism.
usually white people who aren't going to write those characters, and
Well-
if they do, they might fucking stereotype them, and that's
think
not good.
I think one of the authors that we've read, and I know we're not really talking about them today, but like Opal Rain did a really good job by being inclusive with all their FMCs and MMCs and
Mhm.
making it
It
to
was
where
a
it's
great
super really,
need-
really
I need
and
to
far
actually
and
read.
wide. Like she includes any color, any like what do you call it? Ethnicity, like it's all there. You talk about brown, black, white, Asian, it's all in there. She includes every fucking one. And that's one of the things I loved about that author in particular.
I still need
She's
to
even
I'm
got
sure-
read
I'm
gays.
sure-
that. I really need to read that. She's got gays, but she doesn't have sapphics.
Not
And
yet.
the one female Duskwalker, not saying that, Jabez and Zyla aren't a good pair, because from what I've seen, they're fucking adorable.
They're so cute.
But the one female Duskwalker that we knew existed, and you put her in a straight relationship,
We gotta trust the
Done.
process. I think it's coming.
done stomped on my spiritual balls. What the fuck was that? Like, come on. But look, all I know is I need more diversity in my romance.
Yeah, and I'm sure this will be probably a topic that comes up again. Maybe we'll have an episode dedicated to it. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. But for today, for this episode, I unfortunately have to bring our yapping to an end.
They're like
Thank
putting
you,
a pillow
everyone.
over our heads.
Damn it.
Thank you, everyone, for your wonderful conversations, exciting inputs, and of course, endless yapping on these topics of import. Also, thank you to everyone who has taken the time out of their days to listen to us or to watch the video version of this, read the subtitles, whatever form of consumption for this and that works best for you. Thank you. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.